Alright, ladies and gentlemen, watching this on YouTube. Good day to you all. Today I'm going to show you how I personally micro my units. And this might be something that you want to try and copy or find something that looks like it. Well, as you all know, for the new players, it's often something they just play with their mouse. And this is, in my opinion, a major mistake. You need to learn hotkeys as fast as possible. So if we go look at this right side bit here, we got the attack move hotkey, we got stop order, got the retreat order, which is probably the one you need to learn the earliest. So you can select something and retreat it instantly. And then the second most important one is to get Fausts off or any snare for the other factions. So that's also one that you really want to get down into your left hand as fast as possible. So you can snare enemy vehicles when they are in range and damage. So for me, like, all the commands are like hotwired into my brain already. But this is like all stuff that I do with my left hand. That makes it a lot faster than selecting and moving my mouse over here. Selecting, moving my mouse over there, then that vehicle might already be out of Faust range. If I can just select, click the button, and then click on the enemy vehicle, it's just a lot faster. So that's definitely something that everyone should practice with. Just force yourself to use that left hand. The sooner you do that, it just makes you so much faster in the game. And speed is in this game is quite important, especially with the veterancy mechanics, where keeping units alive makes your units stronger, and reinforcing units is of course cheaper than making a new unit. So for that, speed is of the essence. Now, I have a particular trick how I speed up my unit control, and especially my infantry control, a lot more as well. So a bunch of people that will go to the tactical map, they rebind the tactical map to a different key, or they literally just move their entire hand to that 0 key on the right side of your keyboard. I rebind this key, I don't know how the key is called, but it's the one next to the 1, so I can hit that key with my left hand. There's a whole bunch of people that go to the tech map and give orders on the tech map. Then you have like very little movement space with your mouse to cover to give all the orders. What I very often do is I give orders on the minimap, which is also basically the same principle but a lot smaller. And I have to move to the left hand bottom for that. But the other thing I want to talk to you about is something that people that watch my stream probably have already seen. It's the fact that when I have my standard army, I always start with that pioneer. I got that unit on the 6, because it's not always a combat unit, so I don't need to easily select it, but I can still select the 6 quite easily. So what we're talking about now is control groups. How to set control groups is you do control plus a number, so control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you select more units at once that you control, then they will be in the same control group. So if I click the 1, I will select both units. I don't recommend doing more than 1 unit under a control group, because it also often leads that when you want to retreat one of the 2, because one is damaged but the other one is still healthy, you will select the 1 and you have them both. You'll select 1 and retreat them both instead of only 1. So what I recommend is just making sure you have those combat units, so your main infantry, which will often be in the thick of engagement and will often be under duress from grenades or artillery fire, that you will be able to select them fast, and in that way you can quickly retreat them or move them. So in this way I don't have to click on the map to select a unit. what I do is I select units with my left hand, and this makes me able to move my right hand already to the next step. You know, so if I want this unit, for instance, to go into green cover over here, what a lot of people do is they select the unit and click it there, but what I can do is I can select it and click it there. I can select this one and click it there. And this is especially handy if you have to give multiple orders at once. So there's different ways you can go about that. For instance, you can also select everything and then go with the tab. So that's the way you can give individual orders to your units. So if you select everything and you use the tab, but maybe you selected it in a different order than you really want to give the order, so you need to tab cycle through everything. So I'm not a fan of using that. For me, it's really just selecting by keyboard, which can go wrong, obviously. You need to learn those 1 to 6 keys by heart. Maybe you got a mobile keyboard with a whole bunch of additional keys, so you could use them for control grouping as well. That would be quite brilliant, so you have more keys in range of your hand. But for me, 1 to 6 is kind of the limit. I do sometimes, if I have a second engineer, I might slap it onto 7, but it's not the easiest to select, because I also need to control group it, and control 7 is kind of where my hand is starting to stretch out. But I can definitely easily select 1 to 6. And the easiest selectables is for me 1, 2, and 3. So I have the units that probably need to have the best reaction time on there. So, and this trick is also especially handy when you need to dodge a grenade. So let's see, we got some enemy infantry. I didn't need to have grenades. Figure this out. How do you get grenades? I'll do it with a different unit. I'll use the austere unit. I'm not smart with this. I'll use a bundle grenade. Let's speed this up.
Our headquarters has been improved. We can now build light mechanized infantry.
So, for instance, you're sitting behind yellow cover with 2 units. Now, if an enemy throws a grenade at you, and you just select your units and move them all to the same side, you're gonna take quite a bit of damage. And now it's friendly fire, so the damage is not that hard. But if you get both your units towards the same time, you're gonna get quite a bit of damage. And the reason for this is if I move them here, these units are colliding with each other the entire time, so they don't move as fast. Now, if we get a grenade thrown at and I quickly select each unit and move them to the other side, you see that this one, the one I reacted with the latest, will take quite a bit of damage, but this one is almost entirely out of the blast zone, because if you move them in different directions, they won't collide with each other, so they won't bump up. And I think that's very handy if you have quick selection with the control group. So that's a reason what I like control groups for. Now, if I have all these control groups, the next part is knowing and actively keeping in your brain where each control group is on the map. So if I have my grenadiers spread out over the map, then my brain at least is constantly following which control group I have where, because I don't need to see the units to select it. So if I am microing, even if you're microing on the tactical map, you can see which number of control groups they have, so you can just select them once again very easily just by knowing. But for me, I often micro on the minimap, and on the minimap you don't see what unit it is, You can see this is the MG because of the arc. But I'm always keeping track of where my unit is in my head, so I kind of know which unit is where. So even if I'm microing, or more like macro, on the minimap, I keep in my head where each unit is. Yeah? So I know how to select them. So if I need to react to something, then I can often do it on the minimap, just by remembering which unit is where. And the most important units to remember are the ones that might be in an enemy engagement. So this is one that you definitely need to remember at the moment, because if this was a unit with a grenade, you might need to react fast. So there's also a lot of people that want quick reaction with their AT guns. I personally don't do that. I think for me it always feels like these are more important to react with. AT guns I can quite decently select or have them already set up. And for AT guns it's often very handy to go to that attack map, click on them and then attack them. Yeah. So that basically wraps up a little bit of how I use my control groups. So if you're new to the game, I would definitely recommend, first of all, to quickly start using all of the buttons. And it's mostly the same for the units. For the snares, I think everything's under X. And for the buttons, of course, for the people that don't know this, you got classic hotkeys, which are derived from COH2. Because back then they didn't really have a brain yet, and you have all these weird hotkeys, which will take you all over your keyboard. And grid hotkeys, of course, it's what you want to go in any RTS. You want to go with grid hotkeys. So you go off classic hotkeys, and you get everything within one hand switch. And that's what you want. You don't want your hand to need to move all over the bloody keyboard just to select a key. And so you start learning these by heart, and start with the retreat button, and then you start with the Faust and the grenade button. Those are the ones you need to learn as early as possible. And then you want to get that attack move, which is also quite handy, because attack moving will make your unit stop the moment they see it or engage an enemy unit. And if they stop, it means they will stay at max range, so they're less likely to die fast, but they will also immediately get rid of their moving accuracy debuff. So they'll have their full accuracy while shooting. But it's still wise to move over to the unit to see, hey, can I not put them behind cover? Or do I need to do an action myself, a rifle grenade or a Faust? But it will at least buy you some time, and it's a very safe way of moving your units around. And this is also a way you can queue up orders. So let me just show you how to do that. Get rid of all territory points. So for instance, I'm going to show this on the attack map. I got this Panzer Grenadier, and I want to make sure start capturing this point. Now what I can do is I can just right click and capture that. But if there is an enemy unit there, they will just put on their blindfolds and walk straight to that flagpole, which can be very dangerous. So what you can do is you can attack move, you hold your shift key down, and you can attack move again, hold your shift key down, right click for the capture orders, and that's how you can move your units around, so you can queue those attack capture orders up, and it will be a lot safer for your units, because the moment they find an enemy, they'll stand still, start shooting, and then they will give you time to react. But if you just right click the capture point and you're not that fast yet, then they might just run into an enemy unit behind sandbags and die quite fast, because the closer units are, the faster an engagement goes. No matter what unit it is. The closer they are, the faster an engagement goes. And if that unit is also a unit, any unit that's also a unit that is good at the close range, well, then your unit might be gone before you even notice it. So you can queue up, attack move, and capture orders. So I think that basically concludes a little bit on this video. So we talked about control groups, we talked about a little bit about the hotkeys. So COH2 really is a game you need to play with two hands. One-handed gaming is, you're just going to be slow. And whether you're going to use two hands to continuously click on the tech map and play like that, that's a thing. Or whether you're going to be using two hands to quickly select all your units. And if you control group and you double tap, you go to that unit immediately. So you don't even need to move your mouse around to the edges of the map. No, you don't need to click on a mini-map to go there. No, if I see at the right top, number 1 is on the fire, I double click number 1, I go to that engagement, I see what's going on, see if I need to retreat, see if I need to throw a grenade, I see if it's fine. And I see number 3 is on the fire, I can quickly go there and I can quickly go back to number 1. So that's a way to do it. And if I then want, I know that number 2 is right of this, because I remembered this, I can like come over here and start helping in this engagement. I can be quite fast with this, and it saves quite a lot of clicks as well with your right hand. So you don't need to click on everything, you can just select it with your left hand. And that makes you quite a bit faster. And being fast is a big part of the game. If you know like the cover mechanics and you know which units to build, then it all just comes down to speed and high decisions in terms of positioning. But speed is definitely of the essence in keeping units alive, in snaring opponent units, in throwing grenades at the right time. That all just comes down to speed. So if you have any questions, if you want me to explain different stuff, feel free to comment down below. And yeah, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys enjoy this little explicative video, and I'll see you guys next time.